In this video, we're going to learn about variables. So fire up your Xcode and let's get going. So when you open up your Xcode, I want you to go to Get Started with a Playground and click on that. You're going to select a blank playground in iOS and click Next. Name it whatever you want. I'm just going to call it variables and hit Create. So here we are in Xcode's playground. And what's a playground? A playground is a place where people can play. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to play around with some code. And we're going to learn all about variables. So what is a variable? Well, a variable is something that can hold some data. It can hold a string, which is a group of characters, be it letters or numbers, surrounded by quotation marks like we have up here. Hello, playground. It can also be an integer or a float where it can hold a numerical value. So for our purposes, we're going to focus on string and integer type variables, okay? So let's get started. So I'm going to say var, which is our keyword to create a variable. And I'm going to call it name, and I'm going to set that equal to a string, so I need quotes. And my nickname, which is Susie. And then I hit enter. And here I've created a variable named name, and it is equal to a string called Susie. Now, I've declared this variable with an initial value, okay? And it is a string. So now if I wanted to change it, say name, let's do Tom. And now the value of name is equal to Tom. You see it over here? So if I wanted to print it out in the console below, I'm going to go like this. Print, open and close parentheses, name. Okay? And if you can see down below, there we go. See down here in the console? If you do not see your console, go over to the second button from the right. Just make sure that's showing, okay? It says Tom. So now if I wanted to say, let's say Mark. And watch what happens now. Switch to Mark, okay? So that is a variable. It is a string. Now watch this. Suppose I wanted to do this. Change it to a number. I get an error. Look, check out this error. Cannot assign value of type int to type string, okay? See it right up here? Because I initially declared it as a string, I can't change that. Okay, so now suppose I wanted to do this. Var number is equal to, let's see, 23. Okay, that's okay. So I've declared a variable. I've named it number. I could have called it anything I wanted to, but obviously you want to name it something that you could recognize. And I've set it to an integer. I've not set, so now watch this. Number, and we're going to change it to 4. Let's also print. Let's print, open and close parentheses, number. Okay, so here we have 4, okay? And my name is Susie. There we go. Okay, so this is a variable. I'm going to just do if you ever want to do a comment, like this up in green, where it's not going to affect your code, do //, say this is a string. I can type string variable. And this is, so is this. So I'm going to copy and paste that. Boom. And this is an integer variable. Okay, so because I've initially declared it with a value, Swift already knows that, okay, Susie means to have this as a string. Going forward, anything with a name, any value in the variable name has to be a string. Same thing with number. I've declared it as a number. So going forward, anything with a number has to be number. If I said this, now it's going to give me a really strong error. Okay, so basically what see, it says you can't use the value of string when I initially declared it as an integer. Okay, but check this out. What do you think this is going to be? Okay, here's a pop quiz. I'm just going to highlight this out. What do you think this is? Any guesses? Okay, so when I'm doing, if I say name is equal to 5, this is declaring it, this is reading it as a string, so I'm not going to get any errors, okay? Now, if I say a number, and I say print out the word 5, that is going to be a problem, okay? I don't want to get you too confused in this one, but once you declare it, it's called type or data inference, okay? Type inference, actually. So Xcode is already determining, because of how I initially set this, what it needs to be going forward. Later on, when you're getting really good with code and you're going to sometimes have variables where you're not going to set it to anything, initially. So you're going to have to declare the type. So for instance, I could have done this. My name. It's going to be a type string, and that is going to be equal to, let's say, Kate. Okay? And this one could be var, my age, ha ha ha. And this is going to be of type int. Okay, so here I've declared this as a string. I set it to a value surrounded by double quotes. And here I've declared this as an integer, and I have entered an integer. Now later on, and I get into more detailed lessons, we're going to have variables that are set up like that, okay? It's going to be an optional, but I don't want to get you confused in all this now. For this part, I just want you to get comfortable just doing the shortcut. Hang around in your playground and play around with various variables. Try to mess yourself up and get those errors. And I will see you in the next lecture.